Welcome to this Final Cut Pro 10 training. My name is Larry Jordan. This is part of Chapter 4, Media Management. Our session's called Importing D.S.L.R or HDSLR video or stills. Our goals for this session are to provide a step-by-step method for importing DSLR media, both stills and video images, explain how to modify preference settings for DSLR media, and show how to sync audio and video elements. DSLR is different. DSLR footage requires extra steps to process. Importing is different from standard video, and syncing audio and video, which are often recorded separately, also requires additional steps. Another key point is that DSLR footage will definitely benefit from optimizing. The biggest benefit is performance, but the secondary benefit is improved color correction. Here's the key points. Still images can be directly imported into Final Cut, or you can import them into Aperture or iPhoto, then use the FCP Photo browser to import them into Final Cut Pro. Video files are imported directly from the DCIM folder, which is copied from the camera card. Don't use import from camera, use import files. DSLR audio and video files, which are often separate, can be synchronized using clip synchronize clips. And syncing does not affect source files, only the clips in the event browser. So let me show you how to import still images using the Final Cut Photo browser, then import still images using File, Import Files, how to import DSLR video using File, Import Files, and how to synchronize separate audio and video using Clip Synchronize Clips. The keyboard shortcut is Command-Shift-G. I have a series of events open here, but I don't have my DSLR media yet, so let's go up to the File menu. Go down to Import and select File. Keyboard shortcut is Shift-Command-I. This opens up the Import Files dialog, and the first thing we need to do is show it where the media is located. In this case, it's over on an externally connected drive called Active Production, and inside that, it's in Source Media, and there is our DSLR footage. When I copy the footage from the camera card to the hard disk, I copy the entire contents of the card, and that includes the DCIM folder. Inside the DCIM folder, and every folder will be numbered and named differently, is a folder for that particular camera. This happened to be shot with a 7D. Notice that inside that 7D folder, there are both .mov files and THM files. What I want is the MOV collection, but I'm just too lazy, so I'm going to type Command-A, and it's going to select all the MOV files inside that folder. I'm going to create a new event, and I'm going to call it DSLR test footage, and store it to the second drive. Notice under Organizing, I'm copying the files to the Final Cut Events folder because I want to get them out of the source folder into my Events folder. And with DSLR footage, it's really important that you create optimized media. DSLR footage is stored in a codec called H.264. Final Cut can edit it, but rendering will take a lot longer even though it's running in the background, and the system's going to feel a bit pokey. So instead, create optimized media which converts it from H.264 into ProRes, and the system will be a lot peppier. I'm going to leave the rest of these alone, just as is checked, and click Import. It creates a new event, and it starts to import our footage. We'll just scroll down here. Pictures are a little big, so I'll throw the switch, turn off Show Waveforms, make our files a little bit smaller, turn the switch back on again, and notice I'm able to do that even though the footage is being imported and it's running in the background. See our spinning wheel here. Click it, open up the background tasks, and we see that it's transcoding all these different clips, and it's also doing media management. Importing the media, it's about 22% done. It's rendering. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. I don't care. I just want to take a look at the clip. So I'm going to just put my playhead here and scroll back and forth across these clips. And even though they're being imported, Final Cut is allowing me to look at any one of the clips that I choose to look at. Very simple, very clean file, import files, and then just bring in the .mov files. If by mistake you also select some THM files, Final Cut says, hey, I can't bring these in, And you just say, okay, no problem. And just say, bring in the MOV files. Piece of cake. All right, so now we've seen how we can bring in the video files. How do we bring in still files? Well, one of the areas that we have not yet looked at over here are all the different browsers which are across this center right side of the interface. For instance, to take a look at photos, I click on the photo browser. If I had a D.S.L.R camera attached, it would be listed here as one of the devices in our pop-up menu. But in this case, I took the photos from the D.S.L.R camera and I brought them into iPhoto. iPhoto, unlike having to bring it into an event, has already got the photographs inside the iPhoto library. So if I need a particular photo, for instance, I want to use this tree stump image, I simply grab the photo and drag it up into my timeline. And I've now added the photo to my timeline. You don't need to load it into an event. You just simply grab it from the browser and drag it where you want it to go. If you want to reposition it, it's a clip. Drag it wherever you want. Notice there's this orange bar over here, which means that as fast as Final Cut can get access to it, it needs to get rendered. But because rendering occurs in the background, I don't have to worry about it. Look at that. It's already being rendered without me hitting any keys. And it's still rendering, bringing in my D.S.L.R footage. And it's still transcoding and optimizing all this stuff. I don't care. I just simply say, put this in here, make it look beautiful, get out of my way. Now, those of you who are really astute, when I put my playhead over this clip, you'll notice that the image I brought in is not the same aspect ratio as the image I have in the background. All right, stop poking fingers in my direction. We'll get to this later. Just be impressed at how we can bring this thing in. And we'll deal with aspect ratios and working with still images a little later in this chapter. So step number one, if you're bringing in images, you can use the photo browser by clicking on this camera icon. That turns it off, by the way. It's a toggle switch. Drag the photo that you want into the timeline. Don't even need to add it to an event. Then, when you want to bring in video, it's File, Import Files. Bring it in. Be sure Optimize gets checked. It will make a big difference, both in the quality and the performance of your images. But what happens if I want to bring an image in and not keep it in iPhoto? I want to have it just be for a specific project. The nice thing about iPhoto photos is that they're always available. But the nice thing of having a photo in a specific project is it can be archived with that project. Well, same way we bring in video, File, Import Files. I happen to have a shot that I put to the desktop. Command D gets me to the desktop. And there's my picture. I want to add it to an existing event, but I want to add it to the D.S.L.R test footage. So this time I say yes to the existing event and select all the different events I have to choose from and put it there. I want to copy it to the events folder. I want to create optimized media and click import. And after a few seconds in the D.S.L.R footage, there's the still image, Palo Kamado Canyon, which is close to where I live, in the springtime with wildflowers. Now, the difference between a picture which is in the event and a picture which is in the iPhoto library is the picture in the event is only available to me as long as that event is available to me. A photo in the iPhoto library is available across all my different projects and all my different events. So if you only need it for one place, put it in an event. If you need it for multiple places, put it in iPhoto. The image quality and the process of working with the image is the same. Okay, now let us pretend that this shot right here is a person on camera talking. And I need to sync up the audio, which is recorded on a second system, with the video. Well, to do that, I'm going to import another file. So let's go File, Import Files. And this one is, there we go. I've now brought in an audio file. It's just me saying hello. And I want to sync it up with this guy talking. So you select that clip, hold the Command key down, and select the audio file. Final Cut makes it easy to synchronize multiple clips. For instance, if you had a clapper slate, you could put a marker at the point of the clapper slate in video, another marker at the point of the clapper slate in the audio. When you go to synchronize, Final Cut will look first for markers. Second, it'll look for matching timecode. Then it'll look for the file creation date. It also can analyze the audio content to determine how to set sync. And if no sync points are found, or if the audio doesn't exist or doesn't match, then the clips are synced at their respective starting points. The nice thing is that we can select multiple clips, not just one piece of video and one piece of audio, but multiple pieces of video and multiple pieces of audio, and sync them all together in what's called a compound clip. For instance, here, I'm going to synchronize these two clips based upon their starting point. Go up to the clip menu, say Synchronize Clips, and it creates what's called a compound clip, which is this clip right here. And this clip now includes my audio and that picture. So I still have my source image, I still have my source audio, and now I have what's called a compound clip. In Final Cut 7 terms, think of it as a nest. It's an automatic nest which syncs the audio and the video of that clip. We'll go to the end of the timeline, we'll just put our playhead here, edit that down, and notice there's the audio that I added, and there's the video that I added for that clip. As we've seen, still images can be directly imported into Final Cut, either from the Final Cut photo browser or directly into the event using File Import Files. Video files are imported directly from the DCIM folder, but don't use Import from Camera, just use Import Files. D.S.L.R audio and video files, which are often two separate files, can be synchronized using Clip Synchronize Clips, provided you select both the audio and the video file before you synchronize them. And images that are brought in from the Final Cut photo browser are immediately processed using the current import preference settings. My name is Larry Jordan, and thanks for watching this Final Cut Pro 10 training.